Hi Taurus, here is a general look at your solar chart for March 2016, and it looks like March is going to be a lively month because apart from anything else there's going to be two eclipses. A solar eclipse on the 8th, that's on the Pisces-Virgo axis, very good news for your sign, and then a lunar eclipse on the axis of Libra-Aries, which is the cardinal sign, air-fire axis. So the eclipse energy can actually even be felt before it goes off in individuals' charts, and it will also still be unfolding for 6 months to a year and a half after. It depends on what cycles are going on. So for you Taurians, this is really beneficial energy, or potentially beneficial, because the energy hasn't got an opinion about being good or bad. It's just weather. It's just an energy. So but it's vibrational weather. And this one, well, potentially where it falls in your chart, there can be expansive change. You can really benefit from this, turning over a new leaf, maybe regarding through or related to, in some way related to, groups of people, organizations, groups of friends, associates, and just individual friends as well. Also anything that you're doing online, anything in your life that is a bit techno. So I mean, we take it all for granted now, but actually that is kind of techie, isn't it? Online stuff and all the clever stuff that's going on. But also it's affecting the area to do with, it's a very sociable area. It's a very sociable area. And then it's also can be for you a fun area, an area to do with romance, or feeling very much the center of attention, having a bit of fun, having a bit of a laugh, and making connections, you know. And it's both of the areas are very sociable areas for you. So fresh beginnings can be occurring through these areas, and unfolding, as I say, unfurling over the next several months. It's an interesting eclipse because it involves Jupiter, Saturn and Chiron as well. And even though there might be some old stuff working its way up to the surface, which has to be, the body wants to eject, or the psyche wants to eject, so there might be a moment or two of it all depends on how we react to these energies, which don't have a bias one way or the other. But one of the ways to react to it is to kind of there can be some inner turmoil going on temporarily. But in general, you know, it's or confusion perhaps, but it's an energy which will allow you to ring in the new, very much so, and improve things. Then what else? Oh, and then there's the lunar one, which is on the 23rd, and that's not going to be so strongly affecting you on the sun sign. But if you know what your natal chart is, maybe you'll know that planets will be involved, so you can look that one up. It doesn't have such a pack such a punch, though, unless of course it's very, very much on the degree of something, as the solar eclipse will. Now, other astro kind of trends going on in March is the Sun goes over Saturn's degree between the 5th and the 7th, so that might mean there is a moment of vacillation, or feeling a bit down in the dumps, or not like that, just feeling as though you're lacking a bit of confidence or a bit of drive. The way to deal with that one is maybe just to take a step back and see how you can reinforce your sense of security in yourself, and in your inner knowing, and where you're centered, right? And then we also have Jupiter going across Saturn as well, and that is they're going across each other's degree and are mid-month onwards. And this might mean that you feel as though your wings are clipped a bit. You can feel a bit restricted in some ways. However, also you can see how to make the most of working within the parameters of a maybe restrictive type situation and really, really do well in that strong, concentrated focus within that situation. Mercury and Venus both cross the paths with Neptune. Mercury on the 10th and the 11th, and Venus, these are approximate dates, right? Because some people are going to feel this more because they're more sensitive, or they've got natal planets around. So when I give dates, it's around that. It's not going to be way off from that, but it'll be around that. So around the 10th and the 11th, Mercury goes over Neptune, and then around the 19th and 21st, Venus goes over Neptune. So a little bit of indecision, a little bit of lack of clarity, mixed feelings, confused feelings maybe on either one of those dates. This can happen. So the way around it is to listen, is to communicate really clearly, and is to really listen carefully, even though sometimes our emotions get in the way to our listening properly to something. Listen carefully to what actually is going on, being said, what you've seen, what you know, what you feel. But also making sure that others get what you are trying to get across. That's one of the ways this can be successful. Don't let, you know, all that glitters is not gold when Venus goes over Neptune. That's me being an old cynic, of course. Because on the other hand, you could really click with someone. It could be really lovely and beautiful. Your surroundings could be beautiful. There could be more entertaining. There could be more music, more play, more art, more just sort of flow and in with your words, or your hearing, sort of sweet nothings or whispering in your ear, that kind of thing. You can be, you know, either of these aspects. You can express yourself in a more subtle, maybe romantic, lyrical, creative kind of a way, and feel a bit inspired, really. So get on the good side of that energy. Saturn, here's another one. You know, Saturn isn't always the bad guy or girl. Saturn is pretty close to Uranus, and this is you working steadily on a project, on a plan, on a goal, on something that you waited for maybe quite some time, and you're working on it, or maybe no, you're not. Maybe others are working on it, and you've just been kind of drumming your fingers on the table, waiting for to get the go. Now you've got the go, now you've got the green light, but you're in traffic. So this is my little analogy. So you're going forwards here with something you've been waiting for and to do and to get done, or whatever it's about, but you're being restricted by the flow, by Saturn being around. However, Saturn will help you to dot the I's, cross the T's, do it all properly. Saturn rules bones, by the way, and teeth, and nails, hair as well, and mountains and crystals and you know, rocks and all the hard matter in our bodies, and the earth itself, you know, the crust of the earth. But moving forwards in this measured, gradual, consistent sort of way will mean that you will get that dream realized. This is a very good aspect between these two. And then in the last part of the month, it's Mars and the Sun in Aries, sparking each other off in a very dynamic sort of manner. You can be, you know, you can really get going with things. It's like this vitality there surging, but just be careful you don't trip over your own shoelaces. You can really get the ball rolling, or really get the ball rolling faster on something maybe, or you find that you're in a situation where where things are really happening, you know. So and that's also a good aspect. That's also a very good aspect. Now, just very, very briefly, what else is going on? Because you can read all of this on my website, actually. But this is really quite a forward-moving phase from the position of the Sun up until the 20th. It's quite progressive. things that have been on the back burner for a long time, getting on with those. Mercury and Venus are in an area to do with, you know, outer image, what impression you're making, being more aware of that, being more aware of your worldly responsibilities, and your, in general, your responsibilities in this world. And it's a time when there might be more paperwork, having to have conversations with more authority or type people or officials of various kinds. Then Mercury and also those conversations, you could feel supported, strangely enough. But it's again my cynic side coming out. But yeah, no, but you could, you know, somebody in a position to really help you, who's got the clout, who's got the, you know, the authority, you could feel enabled and facilitated. Turn that around, you could be enabling and facilitating somebody, because you are the one related, you know, everything's relative, of course, but you are the one who's got the clout for them. And then they both move, Mercury on the 5th, Venus on the 12th, so there's about a week between them, and into the same part of the chart as the Sun, which is very much this progressive area, making new friends, socializing, getting something going that was you had to wait for, something just picking and accelerating. Mars has been in your opposite sign. That stays there until the 6th. So I spoke about that a little bit more last month, and it's written up on my website. But you know, quite a dynamic energy between you and an opposite number, maybe, or a series of opposite numbers, but just watch your step there. And then Mars comes out of there and goes on into Sagittarius, which is the area of transition. That's a position Mars will hold until it goes backwards into your opposite sign again. That'll be in May. And so this is clearing the decks for new beginnings. This is getting rid of the old frame, the old scenario, the old behavior, the old ideas, the whatever, and it's having a detox. It's having a spring clean. It can be quite emotional for some, and it is about things that were and are or were shared, and then you shift. And then you go on to this next stretch of road. But it can be a little bit intense every now and again, because the emotional side comes to the surface more and you can feel more sensitive. But the other energies you've got going on, you know, they really are very positive for you, particularly the Jupiter one. Just mention that the Sun goes into an area which is more quiet. It's about nurture. It's about support behind the scenes from the 20th. The Jupiter is in a great part of the zodiac for you this year. Saturn is in the area of clearing the decks for new beginnings. It's in the area of a major gear change emotionally, physically. It's taking you from one sort of set of expectations or habits or lifestyle or whatever that's been about to another. You Taurians born the 4th to the 7th of May can be about properties, possessions and finances as well. You Taurians born the 4th to the 7th of May with 15 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And then Jupiter, as I say, brings this, is full of potential abundance for you. Very much you center stage, you know, admiring glances coming in your direction. You never know your luck. And it will encourage a more spontaneous, even self-indulgent energy at times, giving you more access to entertainments and feeling valued, and also probably feeling like you get more opportunity to be doing something that you really value, that maybe you didn't realize you were going to get so much out of this thing. It's also meaning that your world expands through children, through bringing out your inner child, through pets, animals. Well, animals usually are, you know, pets usually are animals, aren't they? Well, not always though. And leisure entertainment activities, that kind of thing. And of course, Jupiter is generous, brings a lot of opportunities your way, but not every single one of them will be right for you. You might have to sort of learn the hard way, do a U-turn and come back. But in general, it's a very positive sort of energy. And that's it for March. If you know your rising sign, your moon sign, listen to those. You can check up anything on my website and enjoy the eclipse. And I'll see you the next time.